everybody. We're here for our second matchup of the night where we got Hydra versus Blaze in the Rival League, and I'm joined by Mr. Magmer.
How you doing, Bagels?
You know, I'm doing good. I wasn't supposed to cast this match, but I'm here now. I'm the stand-in. But I think I'm doing good. We'll have a good one on our hands tonight.
For sure.
However, this is going to be an interesting match because the one and only fabled Hut is not going to be here for Hydra. And I already thought Blaze was the favorite in this matchup with the Hut on the roster, but Hydra's going to have something to prove here without the Hut.
Yeah, it might be a little biased, but to be honest, my prediction on this match, I gotta say Blaze 4, Hydra 0. No Hut, there's no Hydra.
There's no Hut, there's no hope. Yeah, I'm not, you know what? I would be inclined to want to vote Hydra's way if the Hut was here, but I just feel like Blaze is gonna kind of Rothel stomp him, unfortunately. But hey, you know what? Who knows? Maybe game over. He showed up 5 minutes before the series started, so maybe they can put up a fight.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely think that Hydra could pull it off if Ober's playing like as good as or as best as he can, and Naturalis is also playing as best as he can. Both players have the potential to pop off, but they need to be at the top of their game and hope for a little help from Blaze in order to take this one.
Yeah, I think if Blaze is playing well, Hydra don't take this, but if any slip-ups happen from Blaze, that could allow Hydra to kind of get their foot into the door. As we did have the players started up for the first game as a last-minute server reset happened right before the kickoff, so we're gonna get this one back underway shortly. But yeah, anyways, I mean, you mentioned Nat, and he's not the strongest of players, but every now and then he can kind of pop off and be as good as Ober. You think that might be a possibility for tonight?
I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't really think so. He's been putting in the hours, but due to seeing a score of one of their warm-up games in ranked, it didn't look too good. And I know Blaze is probably better than any ranked match they're gonna be in. So
Yeah,
I
agreed.
don't
But
know. This might look better.
how much bias is this from Nat calling you out on stream? I mean, we do know Blaze is the favorite, but how much is you not being on the team playing into that? Gotta.
I mean, I think that's just hurting them at this point. Like I was known last season to be very clutch in the playoffs, and they don't have playoff magma. Just like the Hut, there's no hope.
This is a magmaless and hutless roster at the moment. As we're almost getting this match back up underway for game one. Yeah, I mean, honestly, the way I see it, I think Heck can easily carry this Blaze roster. Um, even with Magic and Khan playing bad.
Yeah,
And if they're playing bad, I think that's the only way Hydra is going to be able to take this. But we're about to get game one underway here, and we're going to have to see for ourselves.
it should be a good one.
Yeah. And off the kickoff, Naturalis wins it heavy onto the orange side. It's going to leave Heck last back. But taking it on the dribble, getting dunked out by Ober. As Magic on the ball, leaving it for Khan. Magic last back now, trying to get the half volley, getting dunked out by Beef. Naturalis there, almost putting the shot on. Scrambling players for Blaze on this defense. Ober getting demoed while Heck continues the ball forward. And a series of dunks going back and forth for this possession. The first 30 seconds of the way, Magma.
Yeah, it's very back and forth at the moment. No real possession yet, but here we just saw Blaze get their first chance at a real offense, and then right away it becomes a counterattack for Hydra.
Yeah, Hydra came out the gate hot right there, almost scoring, and then on the other side, Blaze with a counterattack of their own. Now Ober on this one in the midfield, but not enough boost to get it for the challenge. Beef with an awkward hit off his own sidewall. Double commit coming out for Hydra. This could be bad, as that's going to leave the net open and Khan with an easy goal.
Yeah, you could see that probably mostly from a lack of synergy, because inside sources also have told me that Beef plays very minimal Rocket League now, and like, or at least he has been recently. So I don't know if they've ever really even played with Beef as a roster.
I think they may have played 1 or 2 series down the line at the end of league play, but I mean, definitely the Hut is their guy. But I believe that mistake was more on Nat right there. He was last back and tried to make the challenge. Great pass from Magic to Khan, but not able to get the shot on. But yeah, I think Naturalis just needed to leave that hit for Beef, even if Beef wasn't making the touch, as there he is last back again with a risky challenge. Able to win it out onto the Blaze half, though. Another double commit coming out for Hydra in the midfield with Beef again, this time with Ober. Naturalis on the dribble now. Flicking it a little early, he was getting pressured from behind by Magic. And a huge dunk coming off, back onto the Hydra side. It's going to leave Beef back trying for a pinch of his own. Not successful as it's going to go off the backboard. Ober with a clutch hit to the side, trying to follow his own touch. Blocked out by Khan, though, off the backboard again. Pass out to Ober. That would have been a good counterattack from them, but there was a Blaze player in the net. And now, you know, this is a Hutless Hydra, but they're looking somewhat solid at the moment, as here's another opportunity. Ober too far off to the side. I mean, no, very small disparity in shots here between both teams, but Hydra's still looking good, Magma.
Yeah, like, I'm still trying to figure out if... I think Hydra are definitely playing better than expected, but I can't tell if, like, Blaze seem a little off right now. I feel like there's been a lot of double commits on both sides of the ball, and we're not used to seeing double commits really from either of these teams. So, it looks like they're going to take a little bit to get warmed up.
Yeah, and that's what we were talking about earlier. If Blaze was playing with mistakes, that's what's going to happen right there. They're going to get counterattacked, and that's going to let Hydra in the door off these mistakes.
Yeah, well, his name says it all. Beef is back, I guess.
Beef is back, and there may have been a double commit coming out for Blaze, but that was honestly a great pass from Ober to smack it off the corner there to capitalize on that double commit. And now with just over 2 minutes left, we have a tie game.
Yeah, it should be a really good series based on the first 3 minutes of Game 1.
Yeah, well, Game 1's usually a feeler, so something could come out. Khan almost with a great shot on the net, but blocked out by Ober. Now Heck following this one up into the corner, trying to send it out to the middle. Magic there with the shot, but way too slow. Khan back onto the blue half. Naturalis with a good clear. Beef there for the pass. Trying to send it back over to Nat, but it was too speedy. Now Beef with a follow-up of his own off the backboard. Ober getting blocked out by 2 Blaze players. Naturalis is going to boom this. Going to go high and off the ceiling. Khan not able to make the touch, and Ober there for the follow-up. Great pass and great awareness from Ober to be there for the low percentage play.
I mean, yeah, we're looking... Khan especially, I feel like, looks a little shaky right now. I'm pretty sure it was him in net on that first goal too, where he went too far back in net and then allowed them to score. But like I was saying about Beef, I'm pretty sure Khan's also been putting in minimal hours due to just various in real life situations.
Yeah, the man has a career that he's trying to work towards, but right now his career in Rocket League is on the line in this playoff match, at least for as far as Nemesis is concerned. Now back onto the Hydra half. Beef on the ball again. Only 12 boost. Kind of flopping off the ball, not able to get back to his own touch. It's going to leave Nat and Ober back. Heck with the pass to the middle to Magic. Blocked out by Ober. Great save. Now time for the counterattack for Beef. There he is. Khan with a great save of his own to send it away. Naturalis on the net again, and this is going to be an open net, I think. Yeah, a quick counterattack coming out.
Yeah, Heck really got a piece of that one. Sent it from his own side of the net straight into the blue team net without it bouncing once. No one even had a chance at that ball.
I think Beef and either Ober or Nat that was on the sidewall may have somehow pinched that to get that on the net super fast, which allowed Heck to just clear it back just as fast. And I think that's ultimately what led to that goal. Now tied up at 2-2. Chance in the middle, but Ober's going to miss it out. Heck awkward on the back wall, but still able to make the save as Beef was pressuring him. Naturalis on the ball now. Getting blocked out in the middle. Ober with the follow-up. Off the sideline now, trying to get it to the middle, but gonna get beat out by Khan. Beef there. The bump coming out in neck. Heck, still able to make the touch.
Blaze is stark.
Yeah, it's not looking good. Blaze with only 10 seconds left to try and survive this attack, but now onto the Hydra half, but Hydra sending it back over 3 seconds. Khan with an awkward touch. As Magic and Khan both in the same spot, they're gonna let it drop as it's going towards the middle. Heck with a clear. And Naturalis smartly lets that drop. He doesn't want any more of that.
Yeah, I think it was a good play for him to let it drop. He had a lot of momentum going towards his net, or the ball did. And if he doinked that the wrong way, I've seen people own goal that in the past.
Yeah, and that could have been an opportunity for Hydra there at the final seconds. I think maybe throwing one player aggressively at that challenge might have been able to squeak that in off a pinch, but either way, now we're in overtime. Now Blaze on the attack. Khan following this one up, trying to send it off the backboard. Naturalis with a big clear out. Magic with an awkward hit off the sidewall, but Heck there for the follow-up, but misses out. Ober now on the corner in the Blaze half, getting beat out to the middle. And Nat awkward in the midfield, not really sure what to do with this ball. Ends up getting it past one, but Heck there with the shot, but way off target. Beef missing the boost in his own corner. Still able to get a shot on, but Khan with a weak hit. And you mentioned it earlier, Khan kind of playing a little bit sluggish in this game one. And this was an issue for them in the past. Heck said they might be subbing in YSL for the previous series, but they ended up 4-0ing. I believe it was Parallax. They ended up 4-0ing him, so they didn't need to sub anybody in. But that could be a conversation for this series.
Yeah, there's definitely... I've heard a lot of controversy around who should be that third man for Blaze, YSL or Khan. And right now, like, if you ask me, I feel like YSL might be the move. Khan feels, or it seems like he's been a little awkward. I'm not saying it's all Khan either. Like, we're not seeing the offense we normally see from Heck and the mechanics, but
yeah, Heck has had a few opportunities, but most of them being off target. He's kind of being pressured to make these touches onto offense super quick, as Hydra actually aren't giving up that much space when they're on the defensive half. But here's an opportunity, 2-on-1, and Magic to the middle with the pass. But Heck, he misses the pass! And that was an open net. That could have sealed game one. Hydra still on the back foot, though. Finally able to get it out with a good clear from Ober. Naturalis in an awkward spot, passing it up to Beef. Ober there with the doink, continuing this pressure, again off the corner. A double commit coming out, and Heck's going to clear it to the sidewall. Naturalis not able to get the touch, and Ober turning on this with a half rotation. Kind of cut Beef off, and that's going to leave him awkward last back. Still able to find the touch to the corner. And almost approaching 3 minutes in this overtime, Mag, but this is a little bit of a closer series, at least for game one, than we originally thought.
yeah, for sure. We're not seeing normal playstyles from really any of these players. I've seen almost all these players play better than they are now. We're seeing a lot of double commits, missed rotations. No one's really stepping up to that next level that their team needs them to do in order to take this game.
Either Heck is going to finally need to pull off a mechanical play, or a demo needs to come out, as there's two right there. Hydra not able to put one in, though, with a great clear from Heck. Getting a demo of his own. Not able to slip it past the defense, though, and Khan over-rotated. Able to get the boost into his own corner, sending it awkwardly towards the middle. With the pre-flip into the corner, though. Lucky hit from him. Magic now clearing off to the side. Khan on the other half, for some reason, trying to harass the defense. Beef and Ober combined for a pinch. This is going to go off the corner. Beef there for the follow-up, but getting blocked out. And now we're almost at 4 minutes. It's just nobody could score. They tried the demos, it didn't work. And a mechanical play has yet to come out. At this point, it's just a mistake that needs to happen from either side. Each team waiting each other out. As finally a bump comes on, but Khan, he missed the shot again. That's two plays that they could have converted on with the net being open. And at this point, this could be Hydra's game to lose with all these mistakes from Blaze. As finally a shot on and an own goal is going to come out. Game one ending in an own goal, 4-minute OT.
Honestly, I don't think Blaze deserved that game. They missed so many open nets, but end of the day, I guess Hydra wasn't able to get a sustained offense really in the last 2 minutes of that overtime. They were able to have a few dangerous opportunities, but for the most part, they got into the Blaze half, and right away it ended up getting cleared out. And it was inevitable that Blaze would eventually win that match if they just kept shooting on offense.
Yeah, and honestly, offenses aside or comparing them, Blaze with 11 shots, the Hydra's 9, so it was pretty equal on offense and a lot of counterattack play and midfield presence. And ultimately, it did just come out to that mistake. It was either the demos or the mistake, and finally that mistake came out. Ober, he pushed up slightly too far out of his box, and I think maybe it could have been a misinput. He ended up double jumping on that save attempt, and if he flipped, he might have been able to save it to his own corner. But it was kind of a stressful situation. His teammates double committed, trying to get that ball lofty above the box, and ultimately the shot was just too fast for him to get the save.
Yeah, it was definitely just a misplay. We kind of expected that to happen. Like when you're in a 4 minute overtime, you tend to stop seeing people you don't really see many people win 4 minute overtimes with a flashy mechanical play that could be risky. Normally it just comes down to whoever messes up first and leaves their net open or overcommits. And that's just what happened.
And either overtimes are usually decided in the first 30 seconds or they go on to that. And for game one, it was 4 minutes, and it was that mistake that came out. Blaze outlasting Hydra as they missed two good opportunities, and eventually they were finally able to capitalize on one as Hydra made it a little bit more easier for him that time. And now with Blaze winning game one, that might put the sub talks to rest, at least for now. As Khan, he did look a little shaky in that one, but honestly, Magic and Heck weren't playing up to par either. But now that they have a game win under their belts in this series, that might allow them to get a little bit more momentum. And for Hydra, who's playing with their sub, Bengy, the Hut, not here, they kind of needed to win that game one to have any hope in this series, I feel like.
Yeah, losing game one is probably really demoralizing for Hydra, especially because I know Benji, like, I play on a team with him. He's a very charismatic person and teammate, so he's one of those people who they can keep you in the, like, your head in the game. And I don't personally know Beef or Over too well, but if they're not able to keep their head in the game, they don't really have someone to bring them back. So
Yeah,
from here, we might see a downward spiral.
Yeah, definitely morale is a big thing, especially in a long series like this. Hold on, a miss coming out, and Khan, there he is again, missing an opportunity. And Heck trying to continue to play to Magic, but getting demoed for his efforts. As Beef is continuing to harass Heck, but Ober, he just has no boost to put a shot on net. As finally going back to Hydra side, but it's going to get sent right back with a great clear. Beef trying to follow it up, shot on, but just off the post. And I think he kind of balled Ober out. Nat trying to follow his own touch with almost a great shot off the corner. I don't think we've seen that double like that before, but that would have been something. But back to the morale. It seems like, oh, there's a great save coming out from Ober. You gotta kind of have somebody to keep the spirits high on the team every now and then. If a big loss like that comes out, and there's gonna be another goal for Blaze, and morale could be an issue right now for Hydra.
Yeah, they just seem like they're kind of falling apart at this point. Blaze are, to be honest, playing pretty bad, and they're still kind of like taking most of the control in this game. Really poor performance overall.
Yeah, and Khan, we mentioned him in game one, playing sluggish, missing a few opportunities, and another big one in this game. Luckily, they ended up scoring shortly after. He did put a good shot in off the kickoff right there, a strong shot, but it was on the floor and an easy save for Hydra ultimately. But now, approaching halftime, Hydra with just 2 shots, and they're gonna have to find something here. They're gonna need something to spark this offense. There's another shot coming on from Heck. Follow up from Magic off the bar as well, and there's Khan finally able to hit an opportunity that was presented.
Yeah, they were able to score there, but like, this game is just kind of a mess. I'm almost disappointed that I'm in the same league. Like, Blaze can't sink a shot. Like, the heck I know would have hit that shot on the first try. but it ended up taking 3 people to score, and then there just was no pressure from the defense on Hydra to, like, they had all the time in the world to take 3 shots.
Yeah, and this isn't the Hydra that we know, but they have looked somewhat threatening and been able to keep Blaze at bay, but yeah, the rotation for Hydra ultimately isn't there. Completely a miss on those last 2 goals as Khan, he just had to put it simply on the net to put the goal away. There's an opportunity coming here for Hydra. Naturalis trying to find the shot bottom left, but just off target again. And Hydra, they're having not that many chances. They're going to need to start capitalizing on the few that they have. If they want to have any hope in this series, they're going to go down 2-0. And the way Blaze is playing right now, they're not playing well, but they're still able to get the wins. So if Blaze can start playing well games 3 through 3 and on, Hydra might be done.
Yeah, it only gets worse from here. You're not going to lose 2 games in a row and, like, game 2 being worse than game 1 and then be able to bring back your mentality like it's nothing. The further you go down the series, the harder it gets to get out of that hole, both mentally and, like, actually, yeah, and in the series.
Just mentally.
Yeah, I didn't want to say physically, but...
Hey, you know what? It could be physically. The hands could be sweating, arthritis starting to cramp up, you never know. Could be some desks being banged. There's some physical elements. There's another shot going off the post for Hydra. They just can't find the mark. And just a little bit over 30 seconds left. They're cornered back on defense again, and that's going to be a 3rd goal for Blaze. And there's no hope left for this game too.
Yeah, there really isn't at all unless we see a few kickoff goals, but that was the Blaze that I want to see. Heck was able to pass it out to Magic, and then Magic was able to give it back to Heck, and he was able to sink it away really fast. If they play like that, I wouldn't be surprised if Hydra can't score another goal.
Yeah, and we mentioned earlier how important that game 1 was. It was back and forth. It was a close game, ending in that 4-minute own goal OT. And now, if you're Hydra, you really had to win that one after getting dominated in this game 2, and instead of being 1-1, you're going to be sitting down 0-2 in the series. And now with that last play, that could be a little bit of momentum starting for Blaze, feeling confident on the offense, hitting their shots finally. And Hydra, they couldn't win against the sluggish Blaze. They're not going to be able to win against a Blaze that's on point.
Yeah, exactly, and at this point, I don't see much hope at all. Like, maybe they can bring it back. Maybe Over and Nat can step it up. Maybe Beef can come out of nowhere and carry. But at this point, I think they might need to give Benji a call and beg him to come back. Because I don't see anything, like, really turning this series around at this point.
Yeah, I mean, that is the issue playing with the sub, and not that Beef has looked terrible. I think it's just been an overall rotational issue from them, especially on those first 2 goals. The defense just wasn't there. And Beef, he's looked kind of solid on offense, getting a few offensive chances, but ultimately nobody on Hydra able to put one away, getting 0 goals in that game too. But you mentioned Benji, on vacation. I was hoping for some inclement weather because I wanted to see the Hut in this matchup. The Hut was confident that his team would be able to make it to grand finals, but after seeing this game this game 1, game 2, it's not looking good for them so far.
Yeah, and to be completely honest, as much as I predicted Blaze to win this in a dominant fashion, I did get Hydra half their wins. So, like, they were my 2nd favorite team to win the playoffs. But
Over the Knights?
no, not like favorite as in most likely. I was more going with like, the team that I just wanted to.
Okay, gotcha. But yeah, and Hydra again on the back foot to start off this game 3. Blaze not able to put a shot up yet, but all this pressure coming out from them, and there's one finally. Actually, a shot didn't end up registering, even though it was in the box. I mean, it wasn't going to go in. The save was going to easily be made, but either way, Blaze just completely dominating from the kickoff, and another opportunity there. Naturalis getting the demo on Khan to stop the shot. Heck with the double attempt. Shot actually may have been on as Nat got the save. And just bagged, but they can't even just get out of their half.
Yeah, they really can't. It's just Blaze is warming up. They're looking better. Hydra, to be completely honest, it's just getting worse. Khan just went for a goal steal. I think they're having fun now.
Yeah, and there was another big double commit coming out, and I believe that's similar to how one of the goals that they got scored on in game 1. Nat was there behind both his teammates. He saw that they both challenged awkwardly. They weren't going to make the touch they needed, and he went up anyway as the last man. And Heck just beat him by a mile. It wasn't even close, and the shot just easily went in after all 3 players committed.
Yeah, you can only hope that Hydra is able to turn this around and make the series just like overall just a better series to watch and play in.
Yeah, we need the content. Always could use the content at Nemesis. The last series delivered for the Prospect League, going to Game 7 with a 1-goal victory coming out for Vipers against Aurora in a very close 7-game series. But at this point, it's looking like a sweep for Blaze as another one's going to go into the right post off the 50. And just the defense wasn't there again as Beef made a misplay.
Yeah, Beef made a misplay, and then on top of that, there was no one actually at the back post ready for the ball. You kind of saw Ober facing the back post, and then Naturalis was facing upwards like he wanted to go to the back wall. So if anyone was even just at the back post, they could have possibly saved it, but there just was no hope.
Yeah, I think they were trusting in Beef there to make a better touch off the corner, and then ultimately end up rolling in front of the net, and Beef couldn't get back to his own touch. And thank you, Psycho, in the chat. Vipers loves bagels. All my homies love bagels. Anyways, no more Vipers love. Back to, let's see if Hydra can somehow get off defense here. As somebody else pointed out in chat that we were kind of, raining on Hydra's parade here, although a parade never really got started for them in this series. They just simply need to play better at the moment. Sitting at 0 shots, and another one's going to go in for Blaze. And they have 0 shots, almost approaching 3 minutes in this game 3.
I mean, I was holding back before, but at this point, like, this Hydra versus this Blaze, Blaze is kind of making Hydra look like they shouldn't even be in Rival League, to be honest. I think the Drakes might have had a better chance.
Shade being thrown towards Magna's old roster. But you know what? That could I don't even know what to say. That could honestly be true at this point. I mean, Hydra, they looked solid in game 1. It was close in game 2 up to a point before Blaze kind of pulled away. And now this time, Blaze, they're not looking sluggish. They're looking hot. Excuse the really bad pun. Finally, Hydra able to pull away with the first goal, but that could be crucial to this momentum if they have any hope of getting back in this series.
There is time. If they can bring it back, I mean, I'm all for comeback at this point. Watch them prove me wrong.
Yeah, and before finally Hydra was able to score a goal since game 1, Blaze, they were looking good. I mean, still were. Just kind of a rotational misplay coming out for them, but Blazes looked solid in this game 3, completely locking down Hydra on their half up until that counterattack goal went in. Still only sitting at 2 shots for Hydra, but man, if Blaze are continuing to play this solid, Hydra are going to have to get a few more lucky goals. Hold on, Naturalis putting one on the right side.
That was a good shot. Maybe they're listening, maybe they're showing us up, but
somebody's got the Morse code, sending them the details.
Yeah, it looks like Hydra, they score 1 goal, they get momentum, they're bringing it back.
And this could be key here. They still have over a minute left to work with to try and tie this up in game 3. And now Blaze starting to be the ones that are awkward on defense. Ober now back onto his own half off his sideball, trying to double it. Couldn't find the touch. Naturalis having to race in to make another challenge in the midfield. But getting beat out by Blaze. Magic off the corner, Heck for the follow-up. But this corner-to-corner gameplay is only benefiting Blaze at the moment. As finally a big clear coming out from Nat. But Heck gonna shut it down, getting the double. But nobody there from Blaze to follow it up. Now Naturalis up with the air dribble. And a double commit coming out is only gonna let pressure come back onto the Hydra side. And that's been a problem for them these 3 games. These double commits in the midfield. They can't have sustained pressure when it keeps happening is at 50, almost going in off the crossbar. Magic with the follow-up. Heck trying to keep this pressure up onto the Hydra side. Trying to pass it over to Khan. Khan there. This is going to be awkward for Beef. Getting it past one is Khan. And heck, he wasn't able to find the touch. The net was open. Going back to their game one ways of missing open nets. And now Beef with the demo attempt, almost hitting him.
No way.
But Naturalis, he couldn't get the dribble and the flick off. And 5 seconds remaining, all the way on the Hydra side. They're going to have to find a full court counterattack as Khan up. And Naturalis, he's not able to get there as he was just cowering in net.
I mean, Blaze was kind of throwing at the end there. They had one back. Beef was able to get the bump, but couldn't finish the job and get the demo. And that ended up costing them the game because he happened to get bumped straight into the ball. Very unfortunate loss, but end of the day, I don't know. Like, Blaze ended up playing better than them throughout the entire match.
Yeah, and now Hydra sitting down 0-3 in the series, going to need a Game 7 reverse sweep to basically take this matchup at this point. And you mentioned that bump attempt at the end. And it was Naturalis on the dribble. He had a lot of space to work with. He had time. And sometimes when you're going for a demo, those players, they rush in because they need to make the bump. They need to make the demo happen. But sometimes if you fake out the defender, make them jump, or just make them stand still, fake them out, and then you can keep like bumping them out of the way instead of just getting one bump. And he tried to get the one bump Beef did, and it wasn't enough, like you mentioned. And that was their only hope of tying that up in Game 3, now sitting down 3-0.
Yeah, I mean, if they play like they started to in the last like minute or like in between the 1 minute and 2 minute mark, I think they could have a chance. We saw a little ray of hope, and then Blaze was able to just hold them down, and they didn't do much for that last like final 30 seconds.
Yeah, they weren't. Hydra wasn't doing much for most of that Game 3, but ultimately ended up in a 1-goal loss. And same thing for Game 1. They lost in OT, so another 1-goal loss there. They kind of got blown out in Game 2. Hold on, Ober almost putting in a shot. So the series has been relatively close despite them being down 3-0. So, I mean, it's definitely possible for them to reverse sweep. We've seen Blaze be vulnerable. We've seen Heck and Khan both missing shots on the net, so if by chance they slip up, Hydra could be there to capitalize, but it's going to be quite the mountain to climb at this point.
Yeah, especially against a Blaze roster, especially the further this game or series goes, the more they're going to warm up. And I feel like if Blaze were to play at their best at some point during the series, it's just all over, especially when you're facing downward momentum against them.
Yeah, I think it just honestly depends how many unintentional puns we make towards Blaze and the heat that they're providing. But as almost a shot coming out there from Hydra, but nobody there to follow up that hit. Over with a pass to Beef. Weak shot on. This time the bump comes out, sending the player flying out of net. And this time Hydra scoring first.
Yeah, this is it the first time they have this season or this series?
They may have scored first in Game 1, but definitely not Game 2 or Game 3.
Yeah, it's a good start compared to Game 2 and 3. Maybe we'll see a beginning of momentum shift for Hydra.
Yeah, Khan with a great shot of his own. Save coming out from Nat. Khan onto the net, but Beef there with another save, sending it to the side. Heck with the follow-up, punishing the clear. It's a great touch from Magic to send it on net. Khan following it up in the corner now. Beef getting the save, but kind of an awkward touch to the middle, and that's going to lead Magic to counterattack.
Yeah, it was a really good shot by Magic to like beat Naturalis to the ball. He didn't really know where the shot was coming from, so Magic took advantage of that, dusted him, and ended up scoring the net.
Yeah, and that was, unfortunately for Beef, that was just a poor save from him. He couldn't cut off that angle enough. He needed to make himself seem bigger than he actually was, because that ball was just able to slip through off the post and bounce off the ceiling, just making it for an awkward clear attempt, and Magic was able to beat out that last defender. And now tying it up at 1-1 apiece. But now Beef in the midfield. Nobody wanting to go for this ball. Beef finally deciding. all of Blaze was waiting for him to make the touch. There's now a double commit coming out for Blaze. Nobody able to touch the ball, but the net is open. If somebody found a touch there, that could have secured their second goal. Now Magic in the Hydra corner, sending it out to the middle. Once again, nobody there for a follow-up for Blaze. This could be Hydra's opportunity to strike, as Blaze, they're looking a little bit amiss on the rotation. Finally a good pass coming out, Khan sending it on, but not enough power to make it dangerous. Naturalis in the corner, pass to the middle. Ober not able to get up quick enough. Beef is awkward. He didn't know how to half flip for some reason. Beef was able to make the save though, sending it away. And Ober taking the ball away from his teammate. That could have been dangerous, but now he's on the dribble. Good 50. But Naturalis and Beef were too far back to make anything of it. Beef sending it onto the sidewall. Heck shutting off the opportunity off the backboard again. Khan with the follow-up off the corner. Beef there for the clear though, sending it to the middle. Over to Ober, who tried to rush the play a little bit, missing it. It's going to leave Beef last back, and a great flick from Heck is going to give them their second goal in this all-important Game 4.
Yeah, Heck really coming in clutch when he needs to most. He's been really quiet for most of this game, but we're starting to see more and more from him as the series moves on. That was really a well-placed shot in the very top left shelf.
Yeah, and Beef, the last man back on both of these goals that have come out for Blaze. And that was a much tougher spot than the first goal, as he tried to cut off the chance before it became too threatening, but sometimes you need to let the dribbler go a little bit further, because he just challenged way too early, which allowed that early and high flick to come out for the goal. There was no hope at that point. But now, just over a minute left, Hydra need to find something, as Heck going for the double, not enough boost. Beef able to make the touch anyway. Naturalis in the corner now, getting 50'd off to the side. Magic there for the shot, putting a weak one on the net, but it was off target. Beef trying to pass to Ober, getting kind of a lucky pinch, but the bump comes out. Naturalis there for the shot, but he misses. And that was a good chance right there. This Magic in the corner, bumping Ober off the ball. Beef there for the clear, but kind of smacking it off his own sidewall. Not the greatest clear. Ober there for Magic's touch though. Khan back to the middle. Nat there, trying to pass it to the corner, but both of his teammates left. Ober turned on it, but this is going to leave Beef last back again. He's not able to find the touch. There he is. He just can't clutch up for them on defense in this Game 4. And just over 10 seconds left, they're going to have to find another full court opportunity, but it's going to be shut down, excuse me, with a great pre-flip save from Ober. They still have life, 5 seconds left, pass to the midfield. Ober and Nat, they pinch it together, but it's going to go back to their own side.
Still up.
No seconds left on the clock, Beef off his own backboard. Ober there trying to make the touch. Magic trying to put it towards the ground. Off the sideball, Nat. This one, and it's going to touch the ground as the last player. He was just too far back, and it was another 1-goal loss for Hydra, but ultimately Blaze took the series 4-0.
Yeah, Hydra was able to keep it close in the very end. They didn't go down without a fight, at least. But, like, end of the day, I feel like Blaze weren't even having an on-day. Like, of course, Hydra didn't have their full roster. I wish I could have watched this match if we had the Hut in there, because, once again, no Hut, no Hydra, but with a Hut, I think they would have taken the series.
Yeah, I mean, like you mentioned, the way Blaze was playing, they were not on. And they proved to be vulnerable multiple times throughout that series, minus Game 2, where they looked dominant with a 3-0 win. And not that Beef really played bad throughout that whole series, but in that Game 4, he just couldn't come up clutch on defense. Both goals resulting in him last back, not able to find the save. And that was the difference maker for that Game 4, is Hydra, they just had so much momentum against them. Even if they won this game, they would have had to find 3 more. Maybe with the Hut, Mr. Bengy, they might have been able to come back, and it's kind of a sad way to go if you're Hydra.
Yeah, for sure. And I believe we are gonna be taking an interview with Heck.
Yeah, we are. We're gonna get him in here in a second
Here.
to hear about that dominant sweep.
Yep. Okay, let's bring him in.
There he is. There's Heck.
Hi.
And you know, Heck, you had a sweep versus Parallax in round one, and you come up with another one here. This one a little bit closer, and they were kind of missing not their star player, but a key player in the Hydra lineup, Bengy, aka the Hut. And even without the Hut, Hydra was able to keep it somewhat close, 3 1-goal losses, but ultimately you guys were able to come up with a 4-0 sweep, and it didn't seem like you guys were playing that well. Did it feel like it?
I was definitely off today. Like I was definitely burnt. I was hitting way more shots um in the series against Parallax than the series.
Yeah, and it looked a little rough from you guys, especially in that game one. You guys were able to find the win in that 4-minute OT, but there was time and time again where you or Khan missed a pass to the middle, missed an open net, not able to find a shot. But I mean, what was it about Hydra or your team, that was able to keep you guys in that matchup and ultimately come out with the easy sweep?
I think we just had a lot of pressure, and after game one, it looked like they were just falling apart because they really wanted to get game one back.
Yeah, definitely. That was a pivotal game, that game one, and it sucks to lose. And then right after you guys come out with a dominant 3-0 in game two to put them down early in the series, and there was 1-goal losses after that, but ultimately they couldn't come back. And anything you got for Mr. Heck Magma?
Yeah, I do have one question. If you like could tell just like everyone on stream, like kind of one strategy you guys used against Hydra in order to really keep them at bay and keep the series under your control, like how do you think you guys did it?
Um, we had a lot of boost control, and we were just relying on really big clears. And I just want to say, I kind of want to thank Knights for warming up with us before game because we really needed that.
Yeah, and interesting that you bring up the Knights. They're going to be the matchup that's going to happen on Wednesday. And both of your series so far have resulted in 4-0 sweeps. Parallax was honestly pretty easy. They're out of the playoffs now, getting eliminated by Distortion. And this sweep a little bit closer, but ultimately dominating in the end. Do you think Distortion has any chance against Knights in the other semifinal match?
Um, yeah, honestly, Distortion is a pretty solid team, but Knights, Knights, I think they might take you like game 6, game 5, in my opinion.
Yeah, Distortion, they looked good in the 2 matches that they've played, and Knights, maybe some people kind of question the validity of that team now that ABC isn't there. Still able to pull off a 16-2 league play. They've kind of been sitting, waiting for an opponent to come up in these playoffs, sitting for a little over a week now. And ultimately, you think Knights are going to come out of that matchup. So is it going to be another sweep for grand finals? I'm going to ask.
I mean, hopefully, I'm just saying we dedicated this series to Magma, bro. He
Yes,
basically
sir.
carried them the entire season, then they just said bye.
I
I
mean,
guess.
don't worry, I became a sub for a team that didn't make playoffs. It's okay.
All right.
Even better, dude.
One one last question. So we know that Knights is going to the grand finals apparently, which could be likely. But one last point on this Hydra Blaze matchup. If the Hut were here, if Benji were here, do you think there could have been an upset potential for Hydra taking this one?
Um, Definitely, bro. Like the height, he's like 2K if you haven't heard. So would have just been a 4-0. He just
Yeah,
like he's literally just the star player. Like earlier, you said he's not the star player. No, he is definitely the star player for Hydra.
yeah, they could have used his 50s in this matchup, but ultimately it was a 4-0 win for Blaze, and heck, you're going to be moving on to the grand finals to face the winner of Knights and Distortion. So we'll have to see you on Saturday, man.
All right.
Alrighty, that was Heck from Blaze, who able to come with a 4-0 victory that looked pretty convincing, even though there was some mistakes there. And Magma, we heard it from Heck. He thinks Knights are going to make it. So between Knights and Blaze now, who do you think's taking that grand finals?
Knights versus Blaze. It's a really good match. We haven't seen new Knights versus Blaze at all, but Knights also weren't able to beat Blaze when they had a 2K player on their team. So I think Blaze takes it in game 5 or 6 probably.
That's a bold prediction. I think it could come down to the wire, game 6, potentially game 7, but that's gonna be it for Rival League for now tonight. Up next, we're gonna have a key moment in the Titan playoffs. It's gonna be Grandmasters versus Venganza in the Titan League, and we'll see that one right after the break. Don't want to miss it.